The Irish didn't believe in heaven and hell. They believed in a world layered directly on top of this one, so close you could accidentally step into it if you weren't careful. The other world isn't some distant afterlife floating above the clouds or buried beneath the earth. It's sideways, occupying the exact same space you're standing in right now, just vibrating at a frequency your eyes can't quite catch. Which means there are places where the barrier gets thin. Dangerously thin. The Sidhe, the burial mounds, are doorways. So are lone hawthorn trees standing in the middle of fields, which is why Irish farmers still refuse to cut them down. Lakes at dawn. Crossroads at dusk. These are the places where reality gets porous, where if you're not paying attention, you might slip through. And here's the thing that'll mess you up. Time doesn't work the same over there. You could spend what feels like a single night feasting in a fairy hall and return to find 300 years have passed. Everyone you knew is dust. Or the reverse, decades in the other world, you stumble back through, and it's only been an hour. This is why you never, ever accept fairy food. One bite and you're bound to their time, their rules. And it's not even one place. The other world is a collection of realms, Tir Na Nog, the land of youth where no one ages. Mell, the plain of honey where everything tastes like bliss. Tir Fathuin, the land under wave, a kingdom beneath the sea. Different regions, different lores. The Tuatha De Danann didn't die when they lost Ireland to mortal invaders. They retreated into the hollow hills, became the Aos Sai, the fairy folk, and they've been watching from the other side ever since. Forget everything you think you know about fairies. The side aren't tiny wing things flitting around gardens. They're tall, impossibly tall sometimes, luminous, beautiful in a way that's almost painful to look at. These were gods once. The Tuatha De Danann, the divine tribes of Ireland, who ruled before humans arrived. When they withdrew into the hollow hills, they didn't diminish. They just moved sideways. They're obsessed with beauty, with music that makes you weep, with craftsmanship so perfect it borders on sorcery. But they're also bound by the old agreements, the treaties made between their world and ours when the land was young. Break those agreements, forget the offerings, plough the wrong field. They notice. And they remember. What they want from us is stranger than you'd think. Midwives to help birth their children. Musicians to play at their endless feasts. Nursing mothers because their own milk won't sustain their young. Sometimes they just want company. Eternity gets lonely, apparently. They'll take a human lover, a bard, a dancer, anyone who catches their eye. But here's the real danger. They're not evil. They're alien. They don't think like us. A compliment that seems innocent to you might be a deadly insult in their court. The accounts are chilling. People returning from the Mounds struck mute, unable to speak of what they witnessed. Musicians who came back playing melodies that shouldn't exist. And the changelings. The hollow-eyed children left in cribs when the beautiful ones were taken. They'll return you. Eventually. But you won't be the same. So here's the thing they don't put in the fairy tales. There are rules. And if you know them, you might just make it back. Samhain and Beltane, the two hinges of the year, October's end and May's beginning. That's when the veil thins to almost nothing. The doors swing open whether you're ready or not. Crossing happens. Sometimes without you even noticing until it's too late. If you find yourself in their presence, never, and I mean never, say thank you. Gratitude implies debt. Debt gives them a claim. They'll smile when you say it, and that smile should terrify you. The old protections still work, though. Turn your coat inside out to break their enchantments. Iron in your pocket repels them like a held breath repels water. Bread, too, uneaten bread from your own world, proof you haven't tasted theirs. Because once you eat their food, you're not entirely yours anymore. And if you're walking at night and you hear music drifting from a hillside, beautiful, magnetic, the kind that makes your chest ache, walk the other way. Unless you're willing to trade years of your mortal life for a single dance. But here's the worst part, the thing nobody warns you about. Don't be too beautiful. Too talented. Too lucky. They notice that. They want what catches their eye. And when the fair folk want something, they take it. Here's what actually happens when you cross over. Oisin fell in love with Niamh of the golden hair, and she took him to Tir Ene Nog, the land of youth. He stayed what felt like 3 years. 3 perfect, impossible years. When he finally came back to find his family, 300 years had passed. Everyone he'd ever known was dust. Niamh had given him one rule: don't let your feet touch Irish soil. He forgot. His saddle slipped, he reached for a stone to steady himself, and the moment his foot hit the ground he aged all 300 years in seconds. Skin papering over bone. Hair whitening. He died on the roadside while strangers watched. That's the cost. But it's not always that dramatic. Sometimes it's just the food. The otherworld feasts are achingly, impossibly delicious, and one bite means you can never fully return. You'll live out your human years tasting ash, longing for that one perfect meal you can never have again. The ones who do make it back come back wrong. They speak in riddles. Can't stomach mortal food. See things moving in the corner of their vision that no one else can see. They're here, but they're also still there, caught between worlds. And here's the thing that haunts me. Some people go willingly and stay willingly. Because the other world offers something this world can't. Timelessness. Beauty that doesn't fade. A life without endings. Which means the real question isn't whether you can survive the crossing. It's whether you'd even want to come back. Here's what gets me about the Celtic Otherworld. It never actually left. The Irish never stopped believing. When Christianity arrived, they didn't replace the Otherworld. They just made room for it. Folded it into the new system. Let it coexist. The saints had their own encounters with fairy folk. The monasteries were built beside sacred wells. It wasn't conversion so much as negotiation. And you can still see it.